Hey friends, it's me, Alyssa, and I am back with Live in Local Atlanta. I'm joined virtually by my incredible friend Elaine Hudson with her incredible lineup of jewelry, social justice jewelry, and I'm so excited to dive right into it. Elaine, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. It's a beautiful, sunny, crisp morning here in Austin.
I love it. I love it. Let's talk about social justice jewelry. Can you share a little bit about what exactly it is?
So, social justice jewelry, the core of my line is stainless steel message jewelry. And so it's with messages of strength and peace in support of social justice causes and messages.
Absolutely. I love to hear that. Can we talk about what the initial inspiration was for you to create social justice jewelry?
Yeah, so in 2016, there was a lot of negativity going around.
Yes.
And sometimes people would come to me and want to say kind of racist things about other sets of people in the United States or homophobic things. And I just thought, wow, or just sexist stuff. And I just thought, wow, I really want this to stop. And then one day I was walking past a nurse's station and they had uh, the order forms for medical alert bracelets. And I thought, that's what I need. I need a bracelet that says, I'm allergic to racism. I'm allergic to sexism. All that stuff is bad for my health. Just don't bring it near me. And so I was just like, somebody should make something like that. And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm a metalsmith. I could do that. So the idea was born in 2016. And after looking for the perfect metal that I thought was a quality metal, that was durable, that wouldn't turn your skin colors, was pretty hypoallergenic. I um, I landed on stainless steel because it's part of high-end watches and is very durable. And I found a kind that's pretty hypoallergenic, and so I chose that and I started.
That is truly incredible. Now, I've personally never met a metalsmith, so how do you even get into becoming a metalsmith? Like, what exactly is that?
So a metalsmith is, yeah, you're trained to understand the way in which metal moves when it's cold, when it's hot, how to heat it up, how to cool it down, how to make it stick to to itself. And so I learned metalsmithing because my full-time gig is I'm a university professor at an HBCU here in Austin called Houston Tillotson University. And before that, my first job was at a school in Missouri. And most university professors have the perk of being able to take classes. And my mother was always a very creative person. My father was an entrepreneur. And um, while I was in Missouri, I was just like, you know what? I need to express my artistic self. I'd like to take a class that I've never taken before. And I looked on the menu of classes, and there was metalsmithing jewelry making. And I thought, oh, I'll be able to make myself like the first semester a beautiful emerald necklace or something, which is a very highly skilled thing that you cannot do in one semester, or at least most of us can't. But I took that semester. I became very good friends with the instructor. We're still friends. She's retired. I'm at a different institution. We still contact each other, and I'm still making jewelry.
I love it. That sounds so fun. And yeah, a lot of people don't realize when it comes to things like a metalsmithing or something more vocational, it's not you take one semester or a couple months and then boom, master expert. There's a lot of practice that goes into that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about um you started with, I'm allergic to racism. I'm allergic to sexism. How has this expanded out into, I'm seeing behind you some necklaces and you've got so many more bracelets, it looks like behind you. How did you expand the brand?
Yeah, so I began with just one bracelet with five messages. I'm allergic to anti-Semitism, racism, bullying, sexism, and homophobia. And then as things came into the news, I expanded that. And then I also realized that some people want to wear something more positive on their body. And so I started making the antidote to the allergies. and they say treat with. And so I treat with dignity, humanity, kindness, love, um, and respect. And uh, just like just like people's children, you have a secret favorite. Mine is respect.
I love to hear that. Now, can we talk about you've used some pretty powerful and emotion evoking words, if you will. What was the process in deciding some of these words? Because people, yes, they hear the word respect, or they hear the word dignity, or they hear the word racism or sexism, and they may have a roundabout idea of what it means to them. But how do you encapsulate when you're making something for the general public, what it means for everyone? What was the decision-making process behind that?
Well, I started with some that people kind of know, but I think that are unfortunately almost always out there. Um, but then from there, and I wanted to also have one because at the time people were talking a lot about bullying, and we still should be and still are, unfortunately, until it's gone. Because I wanted one that I knew that children could wear as well, because I make it in sizes extra small to extra large because one of my company's values is inclusivity. And so I usually go by a social justice issue that I think is very important for us to try and eradicate. And so
Absolutely.
what's in the news and kind of what's kind of what's out there, because I try to be a bit timely as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely understand and agree. Now, what is so incredible is not only are you a professor, but you're a Black woman in business and you're really juggling two very diverse and different worlds. How are you managing this? You're just really on top of it. So, how are you doing it? What's the secret?
Well, thank you for thinking that I'm on top of it. The secret is I'm trying to get better at it every day and trying to be a better scheduler of things. So I've got my university schedule so that when I'm at university, I'm at university. Currently, not only actually, I've added an extra title, and that is jewelry school owner. And that's another place that you can learn metalsmithing is at jewelry schools, independent jewelry schools. And so my studio was always at an independent jewelry school, and it closed in November with 10 days notice. And I still had holiday orders to get out. And so I just said, there have to be days where I'm working on the jewelry school, days that I'm working on my jewelry, and days that I have to be dedicated to my students. And my students always come first. So if there's something that's happening at school that's an emergency, that always has to come first. And then for each day, for each of my three hats that I wear, um, some days are more for administration, some days are more for making, some days are more about finances, um, and meetings and those kinds of things. So
I totally understand. I find I often struggle with my schedule. I have my work schedule, I have my personal schedule, and I don't even feel like that's the right way of saying it. I had to learn how to be able to merge the two schedules because I oftentimes would be like, oh, I'm available on this day at this time, but it turned out I actually had responsibilities on my other schedule. So I really had to learn the skill of being able to look at both calendars to figure out exactly how much time I have. So I totally understand.
yeah, and I like to sit with things for a very long period of time. When I'm designing, I feel the need to do that. When I'm working on a new lesson plan or trying to um, fit the message for my students, I always do that. So even if I have a little bit of time on one of my university days, it's not going towards my jewelry. And if I have time on my jewelry days, and it was supposed to be all about administration, but then I've got a little extra time, then it's going to be about designing, um, because it takes a while to get a design into fruition, and especially if because now I'm juggling between two different metals. So my core are the stainless steel bracelets and necklaces that I make. Bracelets, necklaces, uh, sorry, bracelets, necklaces, and earrings that I make, but my new stuff is all based on deep space telescope images. I'm not sure if you can see one very well, and they're all in gold. And so this is a deep space telescope image of Venus, and then this is, oops, the
Yeah,
gallery.
yeah, that's gorgeous.
And so because it takes a different set of it, different techniques to work in stainless steel than it does to take in than to work in gold. That some days are stainless steel days and some days are gold days.
I completely understand. Now you dived a little bit into your creative process. Can you talk to me about how maybe art or inspiration speaks to you when creating your jewelry and you know what the process is from you getting it out of your head onto a piece of paper and into physical form?
Yeah, it usually starts with an image. Usually starts with an image in my head or an image that I see, or just anything that hits me very viscerally, especially for social justice issues. My new stuff in gold, it all came from these deep space telescope images, and I can't explain it, and I don't have a word for it yet. But when I saw my first James Webb Space Telescope image, it was of the Southern Ring Nebula. And when I looked at it, I said, that is an Australian opal with a blue star sapphire in the middle of it. And then when I saw that picture, I said, I think I've seen some petrified wood. This is petrified wood uh, for Venus. And then when I saw this image of Jupiter, I said, that's a striped piece of jasper or calcite with a big diamond in the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just see them in, I just, when I look at them, I just see gemstones. And so I knew that I had to do something about that. And holding things in stainless steel is a little hard. You have to have a very hard stone for that to do that. So I decided to do these in gold, which were a little bit easier. But because affordability and inclusivity are values of my brand, I also have started making kind of stainless steel versions.
Yeah.
uh, So this is the Southern Ring Nebula necklace, the first one that I made.
Oh, that is so gorgeous. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't have the best lighting here.
All
Jewelry lighting,
good.
it's very hard. But and so then I made so this is a Australian opal with a star sapphire and 18 karat gold. And then this is a chalcedony, which is a harder stone with a star sapphire, but in stainless steel. So, and then whenever I hear things on the news, I always think about how I can kind of translate them into bracelets that will speak to people. And I'm also now working on one of the things that I really love is oftentimes you have longer messages than just a couple of words. And so I'm working on cuff bracelets that I'm going to call words of wisdom. But yeah, it takes a little while to figure out what you can replicate and put into production and make um, relatively easily. So, because if it's too hard, the price point is going to be too high. And as I said, affordability is one of the values of my company. So for all of my stainless steel jewelry, it's all under $300. All of the cuffs and so far, all of the cuffs and the earrings are under $100. And so I really strive to make sure because everybody needs social justice. So, and
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's such a wonderful price point for good quality material. And I think a lot of people don't realize the value in good quality versus they see things online or through social media and they see these influencers talking about, oh, it's so great, it's so wonderful. But it's not. It's not. So it's great to hear about a good quality product. Elaine, how can people
and
get
I always
some
know that,
social?
sorry, I always
Oh, no.
know that it's a quality product because I hand make every single thing here and I do it.
Wow. That's incredible. And Elaine, how can people purchase an item from Social Justice Jewelry?
So socialjusticejewelry.com.
I love it. And are you online on Instagram, Facebook, any of that?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Social Justice Jewelry, at Social Justice Jewelry. And I am personally on as Elaine_Hudson CEO on Instagram.
Wonderful. I love it. Elaine, I have one last question for you, and that is, do you have any message of inspiration, hope, a piece of advice, anything you'd like to give somebody, a hot tip or take on how to live a better life?
Lean into community. They're always going to, if you make community and help in your community, they're going to show up and help you when you need it. And it always feels good. Either helping or getting help always feels good. Community always feels good.
I love it. Such a positive message to share with everyone. This is Live in Local Atlanta. I'm your host, Alyssa. Make sure you download the free Odyssey app today. That's AUDACY inside the App Store. Once it's downloaded, make sure you favorite Star 94 by tapping the heart in the top corner of your screen. And of course, you can stay up to date with me on all social media at itsme_Alyssa D, and I will see you guys next time.